Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT The Game Season 3, Episode 136. Let's waste no time getting straight into the action. In a decent match to open the show, Lars Sullivan defeats Oney Lorcan in 16 minutes. That's right, it takes Sullivan 16 minutes to defeat Oney Lorcan here tonight. 71 seat plus. We have no skill improvements, but a 58 and a 67 respectively for Oney Lorcan and Lars Sullivan. Tom Phillips after the match says, "Look at that standing ovation." The fans cheer as Oney Lorcan is getting to his feet, absolutely crushed by Lars Sullivan, but he refused to give up. A Lorcan, Lorcan, Lorcan chant raises as he simply smiles. His partner now, Denny Burch, has hit the ringside area just to help him up into the back as the crowd continues to serenade him with cheers. Byron Sexton says, "What a match, Tom." Nigel McGuinness says, "Oney Lorcan, that's what a real man looks like." Tom Phillips says, "I was supposed to be talking about the rest of the show here, but this match just threw me a curveball. Lorcan, what a match, what a fight." Phillips smiles and begins in as you can see the red bruises already starting to form on Oney Lorcan. I'll get to the main event at least, guys. We'll hype that, which will be Aleister Black taking on Bobby Roode. A huge main event tonight here on NXT. 83 plus, and this was a hot shot if there ever was one for Oney Lorcan here. He loses to Lars Sullivan, but the strong showing, well, there was a point to it, and you'll see it later. 83B plus. All right, next up we see Lio Rush walking in the backstage area when he sees Will Ospreay and calls out to him. Lio Rush says, Will, says Lio Rush towards Ospreay, who turns around, Rush extending his hand and Ospreay reluctantly shaking it. "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the man of the hour. I'm Lio Rush," says Lio. Will Ospreay says, "I'm well aware of who you are." He's on edge. Lio Rush says, "Chill, baby, chill. Why so tense?" says Lio Rush. Ospreay not happy. "I can see that you're upset." Ospreay takes a step forward and gets into the face of Rush. Rush backing up. Clearly, Ospreay, given the recent events with the Dream, isn't in the mood to joke around tonight. Lio Rush says, "Whoa, baby, whoa." Now peeking up. "I just came to introduce the man of the hour, but if you want to clear some of that aggression out, how about you go one-on-one with the man of the hour tonight?" asks Lio Rush. Ospreay looks at Rush and nods, simply looking away. Lio Rush checks his watch and shakes his head. And it looks like the man of the hour, Lio Rush, and Will Ospreay, as long as Regal is cool with it, are going to go one-on-one here tonight. The hint of Lio's recent turn, which is weird because I didn't put that note. Maybe I accidentally put the note. Let's see. Let's see what happened real quick. I don't know why his face and heel performance are so high either. Well, apparently he is the man of the hour in this mod. What do we want to do? Do we want to do it? I do want to change his gimmick to Millennial. Alright, awful. Great. Let's advance. Alright, maybe I accidentally hit that as well. Alright, here we go. In the next match, Sasha Banks tapes out Aliyah in 2:51 with the Banks statement. Lack of psychology. 76 and 85 for Aliyah and for Aliyah and Sasha Banks. This was a Diva-based match just to get a 56 rating and to give the crowd a breather. 56 C-. As the bell sounds, though, Aliyah tapping out. Sasha Banks grabs the microphone and looks to the fans. Sasha says, "Bayley, you don't think it hasn't gotten back to me? It hasn't gotten back to me from Regal that you want a rematch after our TakeOver Legacy 2 match? You got ousted at TakeOver Legacy 2 in controversial fashion you want to claim? Well, guess what? Bayley, prove yourself first," says Sasha as the fans boo. Sasha begins to laugh evilly. Sasha then says, "And Ruby Riott." The fans oohing at Sasha saying the champion's name. "I see you, girl." Sasha drops the mic. Bayley still wanting Sasha in her match. Sasha wanting Ruby and Io Shirai still having a rematch clause to take on, says Sasha here, but I meant Ruby. The NXT Rage NXT Women's Intercontinental Championship division is heating up, and in case of Ken, for those new to the channel, on Resistance, our other show, we have the World Championship, and the Intercontinental Championship is the main women's championship here on Rage. All right, it's boss time. 79B. We get a quick little hype package for the main event touched on earlier in the evening as Aleister Black takes on Bobby Roode. So that should be a great match. 76B-. All right. Next, we see a still frustrated Will Ospreay walking to the ring in the backstage area, followed by the man of the hour, Lio Rush. looking at his watch, walking to the ring as well. The two high flyers meet next. Lio Rush is not suited to its gimmick. Can it perform? I don't want to hint at the heel turn. We're going to have to change that off of there. I'm totally killing the momentum of this. But a 72B- here for Lio and Ospreay backstage. And in a decent match, Lio Rush defeats Will Ospreay in 8:20 by pinfall with a Dragon's Call after a distraction from none other than, of course, Will Ospreay's nemesis, the Velveteen Dream. 62-51. This was a high spots match, and it absolutely bombed. I don't normally look at this, but let's look. Why did it bomb? For a poor gimmick, odd face heel combination, booking decisions. All right, well, this was my bad. An absolutely horribly booked match between Ospreay and Lio Rush. That is an absolute bummer. My bad. And this has to be my lowest rated match in probably 3 or 4 months in the save. 47D for Ospreay and Rush. They just did not work well together. All right, next, the camera shows Oney Lorcan in the back, icing his back down with Danny Burch as William Regal walks in. Regal says, "This is what I love to see here in NXT," directing his comments towards Oney Lorcan. "Oney, I'm not going to lie," says Regal, "that was one of the singles guttiest matches I've ever seen in my 40 years in the professional wrestling industry, and especially here in NXT. The fans can be heard cheering." Oney just nods. William Regal looks to Burch and nods as well. "Oney, it looks like you have a thing for taking punishment and not giving up, and in just 3 weeks, we are having a pay-per-view extravaganza here on NXT Rage, which will be NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. It's coming up, and the Authors of Pain are without challengers for their NXT Heavyweight Tag Team Championship," says Regal, the fans popping, knowing what's coming. "You two have been fighting your way up the ranks, and it's been taking notice across the wrestling industry. And Oney, AOP, the Authors of Pain, have been undefeated and unopposed for 2 years, and in Philly, if you want them, they're yours." Oney stands up without the help of Burch and shakes Regal's hand, and it's official. It's going to be Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan taking on the Authors of Pain. Now, I do need to start building up more tag teams on Rage, obviously, to take on the Authors of Pain. And this is the tag team who actually never faced them before in a championship match. So, spoiler alert, they're probably not beating the Authors of Pain. However, I was looking at the ratings, looking at the styles, and I think the matchups are going to be pretty well with one another. I'm anxious to see what Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan can do against the Authors of Pain, both of which are brawl-based wrestlers just like AOP, and I think we can get a 70, 72, 74 out of that match. I really do. We'll see if we get it, but we'll see what's going to happen. So, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, Burch and Lorcan versus AOP. Let me know what you guys think about that match and just using Oney Lorcan's one-day storyline to get that match in. It's in 3 weeks. And I mentioned before, but we're going to be doing brand-separated takeover events, basically like WWE was doing, to get more people on the show because our roster is great, and we're going to utilize all of it. And I think I can do it, so we'll see. All right, next up, we get a few clips of Tommaso Ciampa seeing him for the first time in a month and a half after Legacy 2, including the turning on Sami Zayn at Legacy 2. Right as the duo of House NXT were about to defeat AOP, Tag Team Championship reign. Well, maybe. We then see highlights ending with him destroying and injuring Sami Zayn. It doesn't say when he'll be here, when he'll return, or what he's up to, but it just reminds us that Ciampa is always with us in spirit. Now, 83B+ for Ciampa here. No skill improvements, and for those of you new to the save, Ciampa has been face for the entire save. Now, when we ended NXT TakeOver Legacy 2, Ciampa finally turned, and he turned on Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn came into the save at the bequest of Tommaso Ciampa and of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, who were DIY. This save started so long ago that DIY was still a tag team in real life when the save started, and DIY was split up due to the brand split draft. Ciampa going over to Rage with Sami Zayn and Gargano obviously on Resistance. The whole storyline behind that was DIY basically feuding with the Bucks. Kenny Omega had came in, and basically they had to call on, had to find someone to help them, and it was Sami Zayn, and they formed House NXT. Basically the super babyface stable of the entire company. So there's that. But yeah, Ciampa's with us in spirit. He's not coming back right now. Sami Zayn, I gave vacation for a while because I'm not going to use him at the beginning of Season 3. I could, but you guys know I like to give guys breaks. So let's continue it out here. That was a lot of talking, a lot of rambling. I hope you're still with me. 83B+. All All right, next up we hear loud thuds and the cameramen are running down the hallway as it appears Drew McIntyre is finally, after weeks of attacks from Lars Sullivan, getting his revenge. Drew has Lars against the wall and the two are laying into one another thickly as the two behemoths are throwing haymakers. Lars, though, however, is fighting him off despite being taken to his limit with Oney Lorcan earlier in the evening. Lars, though, makes one wrong move and Drew lays him out with the Claymore onto the floor, leaving Lars on the floor and in pain and unable to get up. Everyone is out now, pulling Drew to the side as Drew is screaming that he is not someone to mess with, and if he wants the NXT Heavyweight Championship, then come and fucking get it. That's right, the F word made it onto NXT TV. 87B+, and this Lars and Drew McIntyre storyline is beast mode right now. 87B+. All right, next up, we fade away slowly and get a graphic that Aleister Black will be taking on Bobby Roode now in the main event. We're going to have to look at Bobby Roode's gimmick as well, and Lio Rush. Main event time. And about that, it's fantastic heat and great wrestling. Bobby Roode defeats Aleister Black in 18 minutes with the payoff. 76 and 70. Bobby Roode has declining physical ability, obviously. 77B. I don't think there'll be any skill improvements, and it's not. But Bobby Roode gets the victory here on NXT in the main event this week. I don't like making Aleister Black lose, but you guys have to understand that not everybody can win every match. And Aleister Black, while he is super over in a main eventer, we're doing a little bit more with Bobby Roode right now. Glorious rings throughout the arena as Bobby Roode has just faded Aleister to black, like what I did there, finding a way to get his way through the match and prove he's not quite over the hill yet here in NXT. Roode has his hands raised to the end of NXT for the week, but before we fade out, the camera shifts again quickly, kind of showing security footage and showing us in the back the back shirt of a man we can't quite make out, but the same man who's been watching Bobby Roode for the last couple of weeks. Who's watching Bobby Roode? We're going to have to find out because I'm going to tell you guys soon. 77B. All right, we got an 80B for the show. We've been ranging between a 78 and an 83 since we started Season 3. Not bad, not bad. So this is going to do it tonight. This is going to end Season 3, Episode 136 of NXT The Game. This was NXT Rage. The next show you see will be NXT Resistance, which will probably be tomorrow. But until then, thanks for watching. And Cobra's asleep, so I'm going to do it. Have a glorious rest of your day.